He said, hey, it's a week-to-week league. Everyone was crowning the Bills a couple weeks ago, and now they've lost 2 in a row. Right. The Steelers now have lost 2 in a row. A lot of things have changed, at least in the AFC. But maybe one thing hasn't changed, and maybe it's just the realization that Lamar Jackson is a really damn good player, and arguably he is the best quarterback right now. We know Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but Derrick Henry was thinking it, and Nate Burleson. So why don't we play that clip for you guys, and we'll react on the other side.
People throwing it all over the place, and there was no better example of that in the passing game than between these two teams.
Yeah, Derrick Henry said that Lamar's the GOAT and he's the best quarterback in football. Was he lying? I mean, it seems like Lamar can do it all. I mean, he accounted for just over 400 yards. If you're talking about passing, and also his 55 yards rushing. But like you said, Coach, if a team takes away Derrick Henry, and you know how to pivot in a game, and you can hit guys like Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely, and we're not even mentioning Mark Andrews. He's like an afterthought, but we know he's going to show up when the season starts to progress and even in the playoffs, because that combo is always deadly. I just feel like this team can hit you from every angle, and on top of that, they didn't panic. Like Lamar fumbled that snap, it seemed like the game was over, defense stepped up, they had another opportunity, and they closed it out.
They did close it out. And honestly, thank goodness McPherson missed the kick after Lamar fumbled, because I'll tell you what, all we would have heard is Lamar fumbles away big opportunities. He was absolutely sensational. And again, take Patrick Mahomes out of it. We know he's not playing well, and we know his pedigree. I don't see how there's any other debate who else you could even think is the top quarterback. Again, Patrick Mahomes out of it. Lamar Jackson right now.
Well, even leading up to this week, Patrick Mahomes is not a good quarterback this year so far in the last 4 weeks. So I wouldn't even say, like, we're going to talk about careers, fine. But like this year, 2024, Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the league right now. Not playing like it anyway.
Well, and this kind of will go around the horn here, Zach, then Kev. Zach, we've talked about this before coming on. If Lamar Jackson had a Josh Allen-esque performance, I want you to explain that in a second. Josh Allen was, hey, he's Superman. This team's going to win. And now that Bills offense has looked very subpar, very average. Now, granted, Ravens and Texans, we believe that they're good teams. But imagine if that was Josh Allen, or Lamar was Josh Allen in Sunday's game. And what were Josh Allen's stats against Houston in a game they lost by 3 points?
Yeah, so Josh Allen finished the game just 9 of 30. I'm trying to get his stats real fast for the entire game for how many yards, but I believe it was only like 150. It was all I'm saying is he only threw for 131 yards, 30% completion percentage, 9 of 30. The discourse around NFL media and just media in general, if Lamar Jackson would ever dare to go 9 of 30 passing and lose a 3-point game, the comments would be the worst thing. It's the worst game we've ever seen. It's get this guy off. He should be on the bench. Like we're talking about Lamar Jackson. I completely agree with Nate. He's not lying. Derrick Henry's not lying. Lamar Jackson right now is the best quarterback in football. And it's just still crazy to me that other quarterbacks get to have these insanely just horrific games and nothing gets talked about. But the second, if Lamar would have done that, same thing you just talked about, Rip. If McPherson hits that field goal, the entire narrative today is not about what an incredible game it was. It's not about, these guys, 2 great quarterbacks duking it out. It's Lamar Jackson fumbled away the game again.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, game of the year, and especially it's game of the year for Baltimore Ravens fans. And not for Cincy fans maybe, but truly it had everything. And shout out Joe Burrow, Kev, like Burrow balled. And we're going to talk about the defense and what kind of needs to be addressed. But let's talk about the positives here for this offense and Lamar. 2 or 3 10-point deficits in this game. He's just the guy that made things happen. And you know what I love?
Hold on, wait a minute. You mean that a team not named the Ravens blew a two-score lead?
Finally on the other side of that narrative.
Oh, you've been hiding that gem over there for a little bit. It feels good to be on the other side, though, Kevin. Even though it's not maybe the way that people wanted it to be, at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson helped lead the Ravens to another victory. And all of a sudden now you're thinking that Lamar and the Ravens are really at the top or one of the top teams in the AFC yet again.
It's been a while since there've been one of those games where every time an offense touched the ball, I just expected it to be a touchdown. That's how poor the defensive play was and how high level the offensive play was. But the thing that I loved about this is Lamar never felt like he was out of it. This offense never felt. We heard Tyler Linderbaum say the message after the game. He said to the defense during it, he's like, just one stop, and we'll go win this game. And obviously Marlon got the interception. It was huge. They forced overtime and whatnot. But Lamar didn't let this thing spiral, because sometimes in games like that, it can go from 3 to 10 to 17 to 24. If your defense just giving up everything, the offense gets dejected. But it was going from 3 to 10, then back to 3, then up to 10, then back to 3. Lamar never let it get out of hand. And a 10-point lead for an opposing team with Lamar Jackson, I know there's that very outdated and honestly was never true narrative of, oh, well, we even heard it literally today. Chase Daniel said literally today, oh, whoa, the Ravens won a game when Lamar was behind. He won it with his arm. I'm like, I regret to inform you that Lamar's done this before.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it though.
It doesn't want to be talked about. Who would remember this? Obviously, you can't win games. Colts down, multiple scores, late in the fourth quarter, or like the Vikings game when half the team was injured and the Ravens were 8-3 before Lamar went down and they were the number 1 seed. No one remembers those things, right?
Yeah.
Because he's terrible. He's an awful player. I think the Ravens need to trade him. I think that's where we've gotten to the crossroads. Hopefully it works out for him. And he's only 8-1 against the Cincinnati Bengals now for his career. 9-1.
9-1. 9-1.
5-1 versus Burrow.
Okay, maybe we'll keep him.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll keep him there. But hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We got a whole lot to jump into here.